Kala alala Yahawaha Ba'ashama Amashaha Ya'awasha'ai Baraka'atha to the house of Yashara Allah and Shalawama to the Bayatha Dawada, Shalawama to the Ahayama and Ahawafayama, the brothers and the sisters. Shalawama. So I'm inspired to do a lesson on few things that I've seen on the comment boards. All right, on the comment board. So in regard to a sister and a brother. Okay, the brother is very familiar to us. You know, to the channel. He's been following us since the new one, has begun. So every time he asks a question, I have I need to respond to that, And there's a sister as well that left a comment on the lesson I did when the brother, I believe it's Kia, came around, and we discussed in regard to, Paul, right? So based on that, she did leave a comment, all right, a comment on the lesson in that I did about. I think the title of the lesson is "Reincarnated in a Valley Full of Greco-Roman Gospel Hexed Soul," right? So I will quickly touch on that, and then I'll move to the next one, which is in regard to, it's about the wildfire. Okay, the wildfires in LA. All right, so I believe those are two very important, understanding that will be beneficial for the brothers and the sisters that are watching us, So right. So the comment that she left is, she said, if you don't mind me asking, what was Paul referring to in Galatians 4:21 to 31? They say, by the way, thank you for responding. So I did reply to her and I said, look, I will do a lesson on it. So, bear with me, okay? So that's what I'm doing now. So obviously, when it comes to Paul, when you read 2 Peter 3, which I'll read because we read it last time when he came to Kia, to the brother that came. It's Kai. I think it's Kai. Yeah, Kai, brother Kai that came. Excuse my French. Brother Kai that came. We did, the Malaka Mayama did read that, which is 2 Peter 3 and 16. I believe. So let me read that.
For 200 pounds, give me a socket set.
Let me read that quickly, and then, we'll bring the lamp, because we are the light bearers, the original light bearers. All right. So 2 Peter, 2 Peter, like I said, 2 Peter 3 and 16. Let me start at 15. It say, and account that the long suffering of our Lord in salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. All right. And he said, ye therefore, beloved, seeing ye know these things before, beware lest ye also, being led away with the error of the wicked, fall from your own steadfastness. And you know, I mean, Peter, I say the best, right? The scriptures not only is a literature, meaning you've got a lot of figurative speech, context, dark saying, depth. On top of that, it's not like a normal book that you should read, It's a very spiritual book where the spirit itself, the Rawahak, what the Shah has to inspire you and show you things, right? So we know that, the Greco-Roman church, has been inspired by Esau, right? By Esau. And then what happened is they came, not by Esau, by Jake first, the wicked Jake, okay, the Levite in Europe, started with Catholicism. And then from there, Jake took it over, made war with it. And after that, in the 18 and the 1900, Esau took over and came with his own interpretation, own understanding of, the scriptures, of the understanding, right? Because we all know that the book can be very deep. So, the sister, obviously, she watched the video and then she thought, okay, I don't really understand that when Galatians, what I'm saying, let me read it now. Galatians 4 say what it says. And that's why, we have to go to the school of the Holy Spirit to really understand the scriptures, because even in the circumcision, a lot of things haven't been uncovered, A lot of things haven't been uncovered. So it takes certain brothers to really teach that. And that's where we are right now with the new wine. And that's what I'm doing. And I believe deep in my heart that I've been commissioned to do that, which will make me, a very misunderstood brother, and well, I understand that that's the price to pay. Like I say last time in when I was talking about a contract, when you're birthed, you're given a contract, man. There's nothing you can do about that. So the greatest gift that you can have, after faith, is to really understand your contract. When you understand your contract, it increases your faith. And, you're going to be misunderstood, man. We are misunderstood as Israelites. So within the circumcision, there's layers in that circumcision. And then some brothers even will be misunderstood. Because when you read Revelation 1-3 about the churches, they've got different, angles. They've got different, commission, different mission, different callings. All right? Different tasks. So Galatians now 4, okay, I will start at 21, it says. And it says, tell me, ye that desire to be under the law, do you not hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by a bondman, the other by a free woman, you see. And that's what it is. It's like even Yahushua, he was dropping game, in parables. The Bible is a parable, man. It's a parabolic. Well, I can say that parabolic, or I would say it's a book full of parables. So if you don't have the Holy Spirit, it's going to be hard. All right, you can even be taught in error for years, but not knowing it, and that's what happened with the churches. All right. So she takes that and she tried to maybe, she tried to kind of like, how can I say that? Justify the fact that, she may be, doing the right thing where we're not under the law. But you got to understand, Paul was a slick talker, man. Not only Paul mastered, the whole, being a doctor of the law, but when the Spirit got on him, bro, he had words, man. The Benayamayana people, they got words. They're slick with it. They're slick with the mouth. See, they're slick with the tongue. If you don't understand them, they will lose you. And that's what he was saying, because he was speaking to a Greekish people, man. He had to convert. That's why they call him the apostle of the the heathens, the Gentiles, because he had to convert those people. If you got time, watch those movies like Vikings, and those Dark Ages movie. Obviously, is for the most part, the Caucasian that are doing the role, which I believe among them there's a lot of speckled bird, because some of them are too good, when they're acting, right? But it shows you how it was when you're dealing with the barbarian that Paul was dealing with when he had that shipwrecked, when he was shipwrecked, the barbarian that he dealt with. When you watch the Viking, you will see these people. These people are Jake that were lost, man. They came to Europe for such a long time, and they did their own thing. They found their own way. All these guys, before we came to the truth, before we came to the gospel, even after the gospel, right? 100 AD, 200 AD, 300, onward. It's just like these guys became, for the most part, man, they were lost, man, in Europe. They were doing their own thing, the barbarian, all of those people, right? So when you come to these people, you got to have a certain way to teach them. These people weren't circumcised. They were eating pork. They were doing what they wanted. They became Greek. So if you come to them, you got to come in a way. You got to come. You got to despise the fact that they are not circumcised, despite the fact that they are warlike people ready to kill someone quick, because that's how they survive. And you got to be able to get into their minds by using strategy, by being tactful. And that was what Paul was doing. But because he was dealing with these people, the circumcision didn't like it, because they saw them as lost, man. They're not keeping the law. They're wayward. Why would you even deal with them? So you should tell them, no, it doesn't work like that. We are free. Yes, we must keep the law, but we're not bound by the law. Meaning, like, for example, I'll give you one example. Amongst many custom, the sacrificial, custom. Paul knew through the Spirit that we didn't have to do it no more. He understood it. But these circumcised guys didn't understand that even if you're not circumcised, you can still get the truth. Obviously, when the Spirit, convicts you, when the Spirit, convince you that you must now, be circumcised in the flesh, right? Then you can go ahead and do that. But you're already circumcised in the heart. Because for the Most High, the most important thing is to be circumcised in the heart. If you're circumcised in the flesh and you're wicked in your heart, like, it doesn't make no sense. Because the Most High say, look, that's why he says, I believe, was he in one of, is it Amos? He said, I don't want none of your sacrifice anymore, man. I don't even like the smell anymore. Because you are doing all this sacrificial, you're following all the tradition, the ritual, the rites, but you're wicked among each other. I don't want it. I want you to be circumcised in your heart. And that's what Paul, that's the game that Paul was dropping, right? But it doesn't mean that he was saying that we shouldn't keep the law, that the law is done away with. When you read, it clearly says in Romans, 7, he says clearly that he's talking to people that knows the law. I'm talking to you people that know the law, and I'm telling you, this is the new thing now. We are entering a new covenant. Yes, we may not be fully equipped, all right, to, keep the new covenant alive, but we must rehearse it. And in rehearsing, we must understand that a lot of the things that we used to do before Yahushua came, we don't need to do that, because he's the representation, the representation of the new thing that is ahead of us, which is the kingdom to come. So if we're going to be citizen of the kingdom, we must learn to be citizen of, just like I say, if you want to go to Europe, you want to go to America or whatever, you want to go to let's say Arabia, Qatari, you want to be a Qatari guy one of these days, you got to learn the Arab, you're going to learn the law, because the way they move over there, it's not like it's not like over here. So you're going to learn. So you're practicing it already. You learn the language. Just like you want to go to China, you get an app and you learn Chinese. So when you get over there, it's easy for you to move about. It's the same thing. All right? But it doesn't mean now that, we must despise the old when the old actually established the new. And that's what, Paul was saying in Romans 3:31. He said, we establish the law through faith, because you keep the law because you have faith. Because a lot of our people don't keep the law because they don't have faith. All right, in the law. All right, so carrying on, and Revelation 4, it says, verse 22 says, for it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondman, the other by a free woman, right? But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by a promise, all right? Which things are an allegory, right? An allegory. So you see, allegory, which is very important. That's the image, and you getting into, all right, the whole thing about the literature that the Bible is, right? Therefore, you shouldn't read the Bible like you're reading a book, because you wouldn't have no understanding that way. For those are the two covenants, the one from the Mount Sinai, which genereth to bondage, which is Agar. So he's making it's like an image. So he's showing you that when our people left Egypt, right? Our people left Egypt, which funny enough, Agar is from Egypt. When people left Egypt, they went into a covenant. They were bonded by the covenant. They signed their life away into Yahweh by way of a covenant. All right, now when Yahweh came, he represents the other side of the covenant, which makes us more free. Because if you were caught cheating as a woman or as a man having sex with someone else's wife, you were punished by death. The only way to atone for your sin was through your own blood. But us being free now, we have grace and we have mercy. Like I say, when you go into Yahweh Shai, right? His numerical value leads to four, which is the door, the door, all right? Dawada, Yahweh Shai, coming from the bosom, coming from the genes of or the bloodline of King David, because King David represents that mercy. That's why he was able to have mercy after all he did with Bathsheba. So his bloodline now come with the token of salvation, which is mercy, and that's Yahweh Shai. Right? So verse 25 says, for this Agar is Mount Sinai in Arabia, which I don't believe Mount Sinai is in Arabia, and this is how you know that they put certain things. Because don't get it twisted, man. They did some work in the Bible, Because someone might say, oh, he says Arabia and that. You gotta go deep into it, man. Mount Sinai wasn't no Arabia. You know what I mean? So, but that was just like a bracket, today. When you read the Bible, you gotta take time to read it, And answereth to Jerusalem, which is now Salakia, which now is in bondage with her children. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. Now, I remember when I first came, they used to use that to, justify the location of Israel, to say that Jerusalem is above, meaning above Africa. No, that's not what it means. Spiritually above. That above goes back to your consciousness. It goes back to your. If you remember, if you notice, every time the Moses wanted to speak to Moses, he had to go up in the mountain. Mountain is a symbolic of being on high grounds. We talk about morality, moral high ground, meaning like your moral values are very high. Meaning like in that context, spiritually we are more higher than. So, us coming in this truth and understanding Yahweh Shai puts you on your highest level. That's the reason why the Pharisees weren't able to understand Yahweh Shai doing the miracle. Because he represents that Jerusalem which was, above. All right? And the Pharisees represented that Jerusalem which is in bondage, which was in bondage and still in bondage. So when you see all these brothers, these so-called two-thirds are around, despising the truth, that's because spiritually They are in bondage. They represent the Jerusalem that is in bondage. And the brothers that's in the truth sincerely represent the Jerusalem that is above, which is free. Because we are free in Yahushua. Free from the curse that came with the law. And what's the curse that came with the law? The curse that came with the law is the fact that certain, you couldn't get out of certain, certain condemnation, or certain judgment when it comes to certain, as far as certain sins, meaning like, murder, witchcraft. Like I say, I did not suffer a witch to live. So if they found out you were a witch, they used to kill. That's the reason why King James was killing, these witches and warlocks when he was around in the Dark Ages, further proving that he was a Jake. Because only Jake had that spirit in him. Esau ain't gonna kill no witch and warlock. Esau is the warlock himself and the wizard. Why would he kill his own colleagues? Don't make no sense. Only a Jake will have that spirit, right? So these sins, there was a time where it was punishable by death, but now a witch, if he repents, or if she repents, or a wizard or warlock, if he repents sincerely in his heart and become circumcised in the heart, can find salvation. An adulterer can find salvation. That's how we free. But it doesn't mean that now we can go and eat pork, because why would you go back? And that's what Paul was saying. Why would you go back to, to bondage when you're free? Meaning, like, if you know that the Most High, through Yahushua, is giving you a way, right, to experiment freedom, right? Why would you go back to the very thing that puts you in the bondage, which is the eating of pork? So in no way Paul say that you should eat pork, that everything is okay. No, because he said that I'm speaking to you that are aware of the law. But when I'm speaking to those Greek guys, those Grecian Jews, those barbarians that don't know the law, I have to be the emissary of mercy, because Yahushua has to blind him for 3 days for him to become that emissary of Yahushua. So if Yahushua is number 4, that represents mercy, why would he go and show that same energy? Because Paul was a killer as well, man. Paul wasn't afraid of these barbarians, because Paul was a killer as well. But he has to show mercy, and how you show mercy is to say, okay, the guy's not circumcised, but he doesn't, close the door, of salvation. No, if he wants to accept, if he was, predestined, right, to accept, all right, the salvation, and I'm an emissary of the Prince of Salvation, I have to show mercy. Because what characterized Yahushua is mercy, because he died for us. He loved us so much that he died for us. He had mercy. That's why even on the cross he said, have mercy on them, for they do not know what they do. All right. Verse 27 says, for it is written, rejoice, thou barren, thou bearest not. Break forth and cry, thou travailest not. For the desolate have many more children than she which have an husband. All right. Now, we, brethren, as Isaac was, we are the children of the promise, man. But as then he that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the spirit, even so it is now. So the brothers, the guys that, the guys that are in the all-knowing, Levites, because the Levites, they're all-knowing, and they're the teachers, they're wise and that, and sometimes, they can be wicked by becoming so, like, over-righteous with it, right? So they were persecuting Paul because Paul was messing with these, guys that were called heathen. Oh no, don't mess with these heathen. Don't mess with the Greek. Look how they dress. Look at their hairstyle. Look how they move. Look what they do. Look at the deed. No, we can't mess with them. No. But Paul, no, you gotta mess with them because I represent mercy. I am the emissary, the ambassador of the Prince of Mercy. So I have to go toward them by showing mercy. I have to go toward them and say, look, there's a way. And it was because I was watching the movie Vikings, yesterday, and boy, Then they will go when them Vikings went. That guy Ragnar, when that guy Ragnar went with his crew, to the Isles of Britain and that, but they will go and kill all this Levi, because Levi, he was like they're the one that create all those, those Catholic, churches, all those. So when they went there, they went and pillaged everything and killed all of them, man. Kill all of them. They have no fear. They despise the Most High because they have their own gods. All right, and that's what I think. Jesus, hail to Zeus. It was that energy. It's the black energy. Zeus is the black god. So that all those demons were in Europe, and Paul had to go against that. So he had a spirit. But these circumcised guys didn't understand. They didn't want to mess with them. No, these guys, man, look at them. Look at these guys. Why would you go? And no. Salvation is not for them. And Paul was like, no, salvation is also for them. That's why it was called the Gentiles. The apostle of the Gentile, right? So understand what the Bible speaks over here, man. All right. So verse 30 says, nevertheless, what say of the scripture? Cast out the bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be there with the son of the free woman. All right. So then, brethren, we are not the children of the bondwoman, but of the free. That's the reason why, even in this truth, there will be separation. There will be separation because there's different spirit. All right. We're not always gonna get along. Even when you read the Bible, the New Testament, they were beefing, man. They were beefing. But it's all for the greater good of the program that the Most High established as far as the Israelite, and it's all written in a book called the Plan of Salvation, for example. That plan is a deep book, man. It's a deep plan. All right. So, as far as the system, and that's what I wanted to say. Hopefully you were edified when you read. Let me read another precept again. There's another precept. What was it again? There's another precept. 2 Corinthians 3. Let's read 2 Corinthians 3. Let me see what it says. 2 Corinthians. That's another good precept as well. And also sometimes you won't understand it, because it's not your time yet to understand. And that's why that fire is coming. Because the fire, it brings judgment, but also it brings light, and that will be my next breakdown after I read 2 Corinthians 3 and 6. So I don't know where you live, whether you live in America or you live in Europe, but you will get it. The fact that you're asking questions already, like, it's a sign that maybe the Most High has you prepared, to get it. Maybe you grew up like me in the Christian church, but it's nothing, man. The Most High got you. So 2 Corinthians 3 and 6, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the later. You see the same thing. So the same allegory, or I don't know how to say allegory that Paul was using, when he used Agar, the bondwoman, and the free, right? He was just making a point basically, as far as those who are free in the gospel and those who are still the Old Testament guys, so to speak, right? So you say, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, right? Not of the letter, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. And part of the New Testament, part of the new, how can I say that? The New Testament or the New Covenant is being spiritual. Not to say that the Pharisees that were spiritual. No, the Most High dealt with them, but there's different level of spirit. You know what I'm saying? And I believe the New Covenant, is allow you to have a greater degree of the Spirit, So, verse 7 says, but the ministration of death written and engraven in stones was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious? For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, but much more doth the ministration of righteousness exceed the glory. For even that which was made glorious had no glory in his respect by reason of the glory that excelleth. All right. For if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious. Seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. So verse 11 say, for if that which is done away was glorious, and when he said done away was glorious, he will prove to you in the same sentence that actually the law wasn't done away. It was just like a play of words. He say, for if the which is done away was glorious, meaning the sacrificial, ritual, the practice, much more than which remaineth is glorious. So that means that since you take the new from the old, you cannot read of the old. And that's what Matthew 5:17, 18, 19 explains. When Yahweh I say that not a jot of this law shall be taken away, man. Because you cannot do that. If you do that, that's a big error, because as you move into the new wine, as you move into the new, the old must remain, because there's no new without the old. You take from basically the old morphed into the new. Basically, that's what it means, right? So you say, verse 12, seeing that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech, and not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. It's easy when everything was coded when when Moses was around, man. There was only a specific tribe, which is the Levite, that had to deal with the tabernacle, and the people didn't understand everything. Do you know what I mean? But they had to move that faith, and that's why he raised that, that fiery, serpent. He raised it in the desert, and he said, if you look at it, don't ask questions, just look at it and have faith, and you will be restored. In regard to the Israelite that was being beaten by the venomous snakes, right? So it's like they had to follow through. Just like even in Europe, people had to, only the priests could read the Bible and the kings, because you had to learn, everything was written in Latin. So though people were speaking English in this country, when it came to the Bible or the biblical understanding, you had to know Latin. But most people were peasant. They didn't have necessarily access, to education. All right, so it's the same thing. The Most High allow us through Yahweh Shai to be all educated in a mystery, in a biblical mystery, because it is a mystery. It is a mystery school, but the Holy Spirit make it normal. That's why you see so many brothers, out there teaching. Everybody got their own, their own degree of the mystery, but that's why you go to 7 churches. All right. Verse 13, and not as Moses, which put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. All right. But the mind were blinded. So the veil, that's why even you having the temple, and that's part of the warfare is that as well. Like, Esau understand that all those fluoride based, product that you guys are using, and especially the tooth paste and that, it calcify your third eye, your pineal glands. So you won't be able to see. You won't be able to understand. So that's that veil. A lot of brothers have that. A sister today have that veil. Because you see, religion is a veil. It's designed to keep you in bondage. While you think that you're free, they're telling you, oh, you can eat pork, you're free. Actually, they're putting you in bondage, and they make you think that you're free because there's no law. How can there be no law when even in the land there's law? If you park your car in the wrong place, you get in a ticket. That's law. You can't do what you want. If you go against, certain, principle, certain law, the police don't come and knock on your door. They'll come look for you. That's why the prison is there. The HMP is there for that. The rule of the law, man. The Esau didn't come up with it. He saw it established, by our people, and he took it on, and he's regurgitating that. That's what he's doing. He's the master of regurgitation, but he will add up a little, how can I say, twist to it or whatever, and then do his thing. But he's crooked. All right. So he said, but the mind were blinded until this day remaineth the same veil undertaken away in reading the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Amashahah. So the whole mystery that the Levite had, now everyone has it. It doesn't mean that the Levite don't count anymore, because in the kingdom the Levite will be honored. All right, they will be honored as priests, because like I say, you cannot take away the old because you have the new. But remember, the old is morphed into the new. But now we are able, regardless of your tribe, to be a priest, and that's what Paul represented. Paul was the first, Yahushua was the first, where Judah, and Paul, as far as the Gentile, he was the first. He was the first as well, because he was from Benayamayana. Because Benayamayana have what? It's the wolf. That's why it was sent to them Gentiles, because them Gentiles they have the savages, man. They have that wolf spirit on them. That's why they were called the barbarian. All these Greek and that, they were warriors, bro. They were living like they wanted to live, no law, outlaws. So you needed a Benayamayana to bring them that energy, because Paul himself, if you don't have that energy, people think that they're strong, but when shit happen, I'm telling you, man, fear is the real thing. And I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So Paul was the right candidate, all right, to bring them the new, all right, to take away that veil. Because even the people that are not in the truth, they have a veil on them. They have a veil. The pineal gland is not well polished. It's calcified. So certain things they won't understand. The guys in church, the guy in the mosque. Last week we saw a guy in the mosque, right? A Muslim brother. We saw the veil as well. He couldn't understand that, the whole thing, as far as the Islamic game came from the Torah, and it was written in his Quran. I bet all the precepts that are bringing the Quran, the Surah that I was bringing, he didn't know they were in it. He didn't even know what to say, what to do with it. You know what I mean? So we are free, because we have Yahushua through the Spirit that allow us to rehearse the new covenant, because we are, by the grace of Yahweh, we are to be the citizen of the kingdom to come. All right, so that was that. As far as the sister, hopefully she will edify, and many others should be edified from that as well. So now the second will be in regard to the brother, his YouTube name is New Hebrew Media TV, right? So he says, Shalom Akiam, what's your opinion on the wildfires in LA and plenty of chariot of Israel sighting too, right? So obviously, we all know that, let me read that. Let me go to Zechariah quickly as far as the chariot before I start the lesson on that. It won't be long. I just want to bring certain information and I'll close out. So I believe Zechariah 5 talks about those chariots, man. We are in those times. We are in the, at the end, of a cycle, and we enter in a new cycle. All right, and that's what that fire represents as well, because fire is a purifier. But that fire being a purifier will bring light, and I will go into it. So, Zechariah 5 says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on the side according to it. You see, so when you see those, chariots sighting, those chariots, gliding, they're taking information. They are the witness of Yahushua. You gotta understand the eyes of, like they say, the eyes of Yahushua, the eyes of Yahweh are all over. They're everywhere. These, the angels, you got some that are standing before you. You got some out on earth you won't see. And you got some that are, in chariots, man. They're seeing everything as a witness. So when they bring the fire, because Yahweh is a judge. Before he bring judgment out, there gotta be, there gotta be enough evidence. That's why I say even to the brothers, like, wait until you judge a brother. If you don't see a brother, or if your brother act a certain way, don't be quick to judge, because you go have, EQ, which is emotional intelligence. You gotta be an empath, to understand the pain. Don't say nothing. Just leave it until the Most High will always reveal all things in the end, and then you can judge. But don't be, don't judge because you don't like him, or because he triggers a certain emotion in you. Do you know what I mean? Because even Yahweh don't move like that. Yahweh can do what he wants. He's the greatest of all judges. But he himself, he requires all the evidence before he strike. When you read Genesis, it tells you that Abraham was talking. Yahweh was talking to Abraham, and he was telling him, look, don't worry, I'll give you the land, but I'm waiting until the Amorites. I want the scene, to reach the top, the scene to be fulfilled. So, hey, Esau, his sins is almost done. Like, his level of sin, when he reach that bar, there's a level that once he reach it, that's it, man, it's done. So the Most High is just doing what he does. He's gathering everything that he's to gather. He's sitting on the throne, and he's gathering everything before he passed judgment. So that's why you're seeing all these chariots. And also you see the chariot as well, because it's watching over us. Because who's gonna save us, man? There's no one to save us, bro. Look at our people in the land, in the land, the Holy Land, West Africa. Look how they're suffering right now in my country. There's the guy that was put there. He married an Amalek woman. He was put there by the French people, and he doesn't want to leave. And the constitution of my country said that you only have 2 terms, just like in America. But he did the third one. He had to change the constitution, call, a the third republic. And he said that so the last one he did from 2020 to now, he's calling it the first mandate of the third republic, which is a fraud. So now he's saying that he want to do a second, a second mandate, in the third republic that he all created, all right, which in fact, according to my country constitution, he's about to do the 4th one. Why? Because the French is backing him, and he's killing people. You can't talk. If you talk, you go into prison. A lot of people are dead. Your brother will go to prison and basically you won't be able to see him again. He's dead. They kill him. There's a guy, a pastor that had some sort of, understanding that spoke about, about him, and they found him. They haven't even found him. Some say he's in Ghana, some say he's in France, but we all know he's dead. All right, so we suffering, man. Look at our people in Nigeria. We've all the riches. Look what they're going through, man. We suffering. Who's gonna help us? So you've got all those chariots, man, that are there, taking and telling us that it's okay. We're gonna come for you, just like he says in Matthew, I believe it's Matthew 24, when he say that when it come time, when the time comes, I will send all the chariot everywhere to save the elect. So these are the chariot that you see. So when you see a chariot and deep in your heart that you're righteous, or you fight in the striving for righteousness, it's okay even if you're suffering. Like me, I'm going through tremendous suffering, man. But if you see me, you wouldn't know that I'm suffering unless I'm going through it. I'm going through my fire. I'm going through my fire, man. Who's going to save me? So the chariot is a testimony, of our perseverance, man, of our faith, So So he said, verse 3, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off, as on that side according to it. You know what I mean? So he say, I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and he shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. See that? And he shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stone thereof. You know what I mean? So, hey, the angels are around, man, and we should keep the faith no matter what we're going through, right? So now, let me get into it. Right, so I say the fire in LA that took place in 2025 Esau calendar is a symbolic of an end of a cycle. Right, so like I say, it's an end of we are being witness to an end of a cycle, man. You will see yourself in West Africa right now. There is a 5 country that took themselves away from the might of the French. You've got the Chad, right? You've got Mali. You got Burkina Faso, right? You got Guinea. All right, so Mali, Chad, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Niger. They say no to the French people anymore. And even as we speak, the French people cannot. They used to have a base, in my country, but now they're leaving. Obviously, we know like they're just now trying to be undercover camouflage, because actually what's going on is Ezekiel 38, the war against the Magog, which is Russia, which are Japhites. Russia are no Esau. And that's one understanding that brothers in this in the circumcision have to come to grip. They need to understand that, man. This is the time for us to understand that. But because they don't pay attention to what's going on in Africa, because they don't believe it's the land is in Africa, they wouldn't understand what's going on. But anyway, all right. So things are changing, and you see what happened. That fire happened around the Hollywood area, right? And then we know what Hollywood did as far as like, the practices, the witchcraft, the brainwashing of the people. Hollywood was the one that told us that, made a movie about Jesus being white, about Moses being white. All of these one are, that's wicked. So that fire represents, man, he's purifying, he's cleaning, because the first time he came in water, right? The second time it's going to be about fire. Obviously, the water will play a part as well, because water and fire are the same thing, but mainly the earth going to be, cleansed by fire. All right, so you say the fire in LA that took place in 2025 Esau calendar is a symbolic of an end of a cycle. All right, that area, I'm sure, is a place where a lot of wickedness is done. So Yahweh, what Yahweh, what Yahweh Shai destroyed that place as warning to those who won't repent, and a sign for the elect to get prepared, because the angels of destruction are very swift. So, these people didn't know that the fire was going to come. They were chilling. Even I was watching the video, and there's even some that didn't want to leave. And there's one guy, he was with his friend. They thought they could stay until when they saw the fire coming for real, they had to run away from the yard, losing everything. So, it's good to get money. It's good, to get whatever you can get in that. But the most side, very soon money won't mean nothing. Because that's an example. That's why when you see things happening around you, you got to take time to analyze it and be able, to synchronize it with your spiritual life in order to understand what's the meaning of it. Because everything that happened around you is the Most High teaching you. But you got to have your eyes open, peeled and open. That's why the food that you eat, your temple, you got to be very careful, because a lot of the food, they kind of like put in the spirit where, all you want to do is carnal stuff. That's why you got to be able to stay away from certain food. and avoid the fluoride in certain things, so that your door, the doorway, that pineal gland is clean, so you can see things around you. You can come out of the matrix. Everything that happened is for the brothers in America and for us as well, to know that, hey, Yahweh is coming, and you either go and have, the tawa on you, the mark of exemption, to be like, I give you one testimony. Something's happening. It happened now the third time. I believe 2 days ago, within a month. In my area, there's been power outage. Yeah, there's been power outage, at least 3 times in 1 month, and that let me know that something is cooking. But for some reason, my building is untouched. For some reason, when the other house around, the mortgages, the normal houses around, are in darkness, my building is in the light. And I'm thinking, wow, what's going? And it happened the third time, and I was like, I say, when things happen to you, around you, you gotta synchronize it with your spiritual life and know the meaning of what the Most High is saying. Because the Most High, you ain't gonna say the Most High, but He going through events and things that happen around you, He's gonna teach you, right? So I was like, wow, man, I'm gonna keep, striving, because the Most High is about to do something formidable for the children, man. For those who believed in Him, and lost almost everything, for the sake of the gospel, man. So that's what it means, brother. And it's for you to get ready when you see that fire. But it means more. It means more. So I said, that area, I'm sure, is a place where a lot of wickedness is done. So Yahweh, why Yahweh shall I destroy that place, as a warning to those who won't repent, and a sign for the elect to get prepared, because the angels of destruction are very swift. It also marks the end of the rulership of the wicked on earth and the rise of the righteous. Right? So we're gonna rise, man. Moses will start showing his power. People will start getting bold, because spiritual power is start with the mind. That's why we're speaking about raising of the head. The head is very important. Your mental state is very important. How you view life, how you understand things when it happens to you is very important, which is not easy, but it takes the Spirit to kind of give you that comfort, that strength, and that faith where things happen. All right, so the Lord of the men of the Lord, will start catching certain victories, even if it's on on a minimum scale. But when the Most High do things, even if it's a little, just understand and count your blessing, because He's showing you slowly. Because if it's too big, your mind might not be prepared to understand what it really means. You might panic. You know what I mean? So the Most High is doing certain things, man. We need to pay more attention, right? So more judgment will take place as 2025 unfold. Fire, right? Fire is a purifier, right? Fire is a cleanser, it's a purifier. So the purification season has begun, because the kingdom energy, right, is coming down on us. Yes, the kingdom energy is coming down on us, man. And I'll read it, Revelation 21. That'll be the last piece that I'll read for us to understand what it means. All right? So it says, the kingdom energy is coming down on us, and as it does, the fiery purification will intensify, right? Now let me read in Malachi 4 and 1. Right, Malachi 4:1 say, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." That's what happened in LA. They lost everything in 3 hours or so. You know what I mean? Because Yahweh is, them angels, they're swift and quick, very fast. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. right? So now let's go into the interlinear of oven. You're going on. That's why you guys probably need to study real, man. The Spirit need to open your eyes so you can understand what's going on and be able to really pass on the message, in a whole nother level. So if you go into furnace, it means furnace, and so oven, it means furnace, oven, fire pot, right? Stove for cooking. Of God's wrath, it's like of God's wrath, His furnace of hunger. You know what I mean? Right. So now, when you go into now the root word of that term is tama. I think it's tama. What is it again? It's ta nanara, right? So the oven is tananara in Hebrew, and then it goes into as well the root word, which is ta yara, goes into lamp. All right, lamp, which is what? A light. So Malachi 4:1, the interlinear of the word oven means Yahweh has wrath, which is tananara, and interestingly enough, right, the root word of tananara is nayara, and it means lamp. Spiritually, discernment indicates that Yahweh's wrath brings light and enlightenment to this realm. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh, and terror, or the fear of Yahweh, is the beginning of wisdom, right? So the beginning of wisdom, all right, or wisdom is the beginning of the fear and the terror. Meaning, like, when you go, when something happened, when that fire happened, people that are sensible and sensitive to the Spirit, you know what I mean, they'll be able to understand that, oh, it's time for me to get it right. That's what I mean by the lamp. So the oven is fire, which is destroyed, but at the same time, it brings a lamp. All this thing that will happen in 2025 will increase the level of spirituality of people. Because as, chaos starting to take place in the earth, the righteous and people that were righteous, but that were sleeping, will start to wake up. Because the only thing now will be to find wisdom. That will be the only treasure now, wisdom. That's what I mean by that. All right? So the beginning of wisdom, all right, is also the fear of Yahweh, right? And terror birth fear. And to fear is to be aware of Yahweh wrath. And when you're aware of Yahweh wrath, what do? You stick to please Him. How do you please Him? By rehearsing the righteous acts. All right? So 2005 is the year where you will begin to see, or people, 2025 is the year where people will begin to see with their own eyes things that will put fear in them. This will lead many to find wisdom. All right? Now, when we read Revelation 21, this is what's happening. This is what we're going through now. That Revelation 21, because you got to understand, the Bible says, well, that, the kingdom is within. So before the kingdom materialized, it's already going to start materializing in the minds. Because you got to understand, the Bible is deep. So you got to prepare your mind for the kingdom. And that's what the elect is doing. That's what the 144K and the 1/3, are doing right now. All right? So you say, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. You see that? And there was no more sea. And okay, so now let's jump to verse 10. He says, and He carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, deciding out of heaven from Yahweh. And if you want to keep it thorough, there's no great mountain in our place, man. In that area we call Africa, West Africa, where you see the mountain on top of mountain, man, the areas and that. You got to use your energy, your spirit to understand this truth, man. You can't just believe everything people say, because you got to go to it. When you go into, when you go deep into that blend, it's nothing compared to what the biblical Israelite when you read the Bible. It's nothing compared to it, you know. But that's another lesson. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great high mountain and showed me that great city and the holy Jerusalem descending out of heaven from Yahweh, having the glory of Yahweh. And the light was like unto a stone most precious, all right, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. You see, clear. So people who started to, the men of the Lord, the sister of the Lord, the daughter of Zion, that kept the faith, will start to see things clear and they become precious like those precious stones, bro. That's why he said in Revelation 13, I believe, 13 and 12, that and the men in that day will be as as the gold offer, and offer is the best type of gold, and that offers in Africa for people that don't know. So yeah, so this is it, man. This is this is it. I wanted to bring that little enlightenment, and hopefully you were edifying. Kala Allah, Yahweh Ma'ashama, Amashaha, Yahweh Sha'ai, Barakatha, Shalom. Shalom.